This is Bunny Bhoola reporting live from South Africa for the dope news called African Voices for the Road to Growth. The coronavirus has stopped us all in our paths, putting a pause on our daily day to day activities. One such activity is travel and tourism. The industry is at a standstill, but that does not mean innovation for survival is dead. With our show, we want to understand the journey of these trailblazing industry leaders, from their past journeys to the present situation, and of course, the roadmap to tomorrow's growth. So, join me on this interesting journey as we move across the various African countries to learn, explore, and empower the voices of Africa as they set into survival mode to revive and reinvent to a whole new normal.
Our guest is Ismail Abdullah from Windward Coaches. Ismail is a real survivor. He's a person who works in the forefront of all tourism challenges, a reliable and dependable transport provider, plus a global player that has taken his business to a real global level. Let's look at the last 2 years. What was your tourism highlights? What was your numbers looking like pre-COVID? And what was the exciting thing that happened in the industry?
Yeah, Bunny, pre-COVID, India was one of my biggest markets, As I told you in the past, my dad was from India, so I have a lot of respect for I just felt very close, and that's where my market really grew. India has been a cement in my business, has been a market that I could depend on, and it grew from year to year. I mean, at the stage where we would be busy right throughout the year post-COVID. During winter, I was still operating at full capacity. So, post-COVID, pre-COVID, it was phenomenal. The business was there. We would have our Americans and our other guests like from the UK and Europe, but India was our main focus. I went to India 2013 on a roadshow, and just kind of a homage roadshow for me, because I was one of the first transporters to actually be on this roadshow, and to go and visit the place where my father came from, number one, and number two, that has made me survive in tourism, was a great honor, So tourism before COVID, it was fantastic, and funny enough, I even had this little tour this little tour for the Western Cape, focusing on the martyrs of during the apartheid era. And it looked like it was going to be taking off, especially for 2020. But, COVID came. Not in my lifetime did I think that we would experience something like this.
I think we all didn't think of it at all.
No.
Oh, all right, Ismail, now let's get to the present. I mean, suddenly we all came into 2020 with really hopes. We knew what we were going to do, but the universe changed totally and the world stopped. How did it affect Windward Charters and the Western Cape?
Yeah, Bunny, amazingly, I'm not sure if it was, God moves in mysterious ways. So, I had a depot out in Woodstock, and, February came, and, I started getting cancellations. And, my business thrives on tourism. 90% of my business was tourism. Come February, early March, the cancellation starts following through, and I don't know what inside of myself told me, Ishmael, you need to pull out of your lease. You need to pull out of your the property that you're renting at the moment, and move quickly if you want to survive. I did not expect COVID to be this massive, to take this to have this kind of damage to our industry. And I think from my gut feeling, I managed to pull out 2 weeks before lockdown. And I moved my business to my home, and thinking that it's just going to be something by the mill. It will be end of like in a month's time. We'll be back on again. But it just had this ripple effect. Everything just starts cancelling, closing, this. And I moved my business to my home, and luckily I was still doing, as we call, staff transport during the evening, and that kept me busy until now. So my business with tourism has completely vanished, but I'm still positive. I'm very positive that South Africa will have that high run with tourism, because we're the best country to visit in the world.
Absolutely. I say, Ismail, you're a real survivor. Your survival plan by following your instincts. So obviously the universe has taken very good care of you. Your maker has made sure that you are able to survive this challenge. But
I wish that from everybody as well.
Yeah, that is wonderful. You have a guardian angel sitting at the back of you.
I think my late mother and my late father.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, Ismail, let's look at the future now of let's look at our crystal ball and say, what is the future going to be like for Windward Coaches, for tourism?
Well, Bunny, I've always been an optimistic person. I believe, number one, that we will survive this. Being positive, we will. However, the new normal will be wearing face masks, taking temperatures, really practicing social distancing. Let's do that. Namaste. We need to. That's going to be the new normal. So when it comes to traveling and tourism, I have this feeling that South Africa is the best place in the world. We have the wide open spaces. We have the safari parks, the game parks, and we have that facilities where you breathe the fresh air and appreciate it. Yes, we will have to change a lot of our ways of doing things. Clients or guests coming from overseas, we'll have to have the history on the health history, making sure we're taking temperatures, hand sanitizing our vehicles after every trip. It's going to change dramatically, once things have settled down. This is post-COVID. So the guests that we are going to get, I would feel you have your families. Your families are able that's going to travel. Your group. Look, if you look at the I think the most affected business in the industry would be the mice and those big groups.
Right.
People start traveling in smaller groups, Bunny, families and less. So it's going to change, but then again, let's be positive. It will give.
Let's just get back to your Martyrs tour.
Yes.
How do you consider marketing this? Because this is your USP at the moment. Can you tell us a little bit more about your Martyrs tour for the future?
Sure, thank you. Yeah. So I've got a tour. It's called the Cape Ethnic Township Tour with lunch. And I've always envisioned that we need to always empower our communities. Let's look. We know the Cape Point and the Robben Islands and the Winelands. So that's the usual stuff. So we need to diversify and enrich our community, our people, being whatever culture it is. And I came up with this tour where we could visit the memorials and statues of Mahatma Gandhi, Colin Waltowicz, the Trojan horse, on this tour, and then also have an authentic lunch at a homestead. where you come into someone's home and they give you a proper lunch. And I've also tied up with the Sarah Bartman Center, the Women's Center. As you know, South Africa is very big on violence and abuse of women. And I've had a meeting with the director there, and I said this is not just to showcase the center, but to also encourage our international guests to donate or to invest. So my tour is basically a twofold. We want to empower, enrich our community, and also support centers like Sarki Batman. So, and also show them the rich culture that we have, the diversity of what happened during apartheid, like the Trojan horse, where if you go online and you'll see the actual footage of how the kids and the people, the rioters at that time were shot by the old apartheid regime police force from a moving truck, hidden in a box. So, a little bit of a history lesson, something different, but a lot of positiveness. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's very important out of it is it's become very sustainable, that the local people benefit by having a home meal. Now, that's what tourism is about, is once the local people start benefiting, then there is greater buy-in into your product.
Bunny, like I said, you are a pioneer in this industry. You're a person I've always looked up to with lots of respect. And you are so spot on with that fact. If we do not support our communities in tourism, it won't grow. So, we need to have that. The amount of people tourism has employed in South Africa is phenomenal, if you look at it. But, I've met four young African men, and I've decided to guide and mentor them as much as I can. And the best thing about them, Bunny, is that they actually use the community to assist them during their tours. So those are the things that we need to align ourselves with, Bunny. We want to enrich.
Ismail, do you want to tell us a little bit about your fleet? And any safety protocols that you are placing into your fleet, so it gives your clients and future customers peace of mind?
Yeah, look, the fleet, as you know, during everybody did what we call a survival mode. We would sell off what we need to and trying to keep what we would require. So in the same breath, my fleet, we still transporting people. I now and then get a local traveler that needs to be taken somewhere. We do the staff transport. So our vehicles are equipped with hand sanitizing. We sanitize our vehicles after every trip. We have our drivers. I still have a guide working for me, very much, and who's educated on the COVID. So we will sanitize the vehicle after each trip. We'll make sure they have masks. And yes, the capacity of the vehicle obviously is far less occupied than usual. So yeah, we've been doing this since lockdown, and we've enforced it. We've basically going to be having a shield from the vehicle, from the driver, to protect himself and the passengers. But look, when tourism hits, and I think it will be late January, February, we'll be much more educated, and hopefully God will allow us to have a vaccine by then. But yeah, we won't be. We make sure our handles, our door handles, armrests are all sanitized, because those are the parts where corona is, more likely to get. You are more likely to get corona. So yeah, we've done those steps, but most importantly, not just the vehicles. It's a secondary thing, Bunny. I believe in people. People, we need to educate.
Our job is people, taking care of people.
That's right. So educating, making sure our drivers and guides are aware of this and how to do things. will be a real stepping stone for everybody to understand that tourism coming to South Africa is the best place to be. So, with us having those precautionary measures, it's our guides, it's our people that needs to show how to enforce it, but in a diplomatic way.
Correct. No, Ismail, and in closing, what would your message be to prospective clients, agents, and to the industry?
In closing, Bunny, the world, we all need to be optimistic. And South Africans, Cape Townians, we are optimistic people. We are positive. Despite this pandemic, we still smile every day. So I would like the world to know, our industry, that when you send your people to South Africa, it's guaranteed that we will go 1,000% out of our way to make sure that they get the best and safest experience. There's no other. We need to thank our president for acting fast. Even though we're sitting on 160,000 infections, but we will get there. We've done our preparation. We have guides and drivers that are very, very willing to, very positive. So yeah.
Ismail, thank you so much for sharing your views, your dreams, and your tips to the industry. We'd like to wish you everything of the best post-COVID. And in closing, this is Bunny Bhoola from the Dope News on our special series on African Voices, the Roadmap to Growth, wishing you farewell and inviting you to subscribe, like our posts, and continue for looking forward to the most exciting episodes in the future. Bye.
Namaste.